Hello and welcome back everyone, I am the Otaku, and this is Everything Wrong with Battlefront 2. First and foremost, this is not another Screw EA video, although they do deserve every bit of hate that they get from the community for implementing such a stupid pay-to-win system in what was supposed to be an amazing game. Instead, this video is aimed at the developers, specifically DICE. I want the game to improve, but in light of the pay-to-win system, other issues that have an equally important impact to the game are being overlooked in the community. So if you haven't purchased the game yet, this will give you a better idea of what's really going on with the game. If you have the game, then hopefully you can recognize these other issues and join me in sharing our concerns to the game developers. Let's make Battlefront great again. Battlefront 2's progression system is the source of frustration for many players. There are multiple currencies, different loot boxes, and different methods for unlocking all the different types of items in the game. To put it simply, it's a complicated mess of multiple systems that easily confuses new players and doesn't always reward you as it should. Here is how it currently works. To unlock weapons and attachments for each class, you need to get kills. This completes challenges, which you then claim the rewards for on your career tab. This type of progression system, while somewhat of a grindy mess, is pretty fair and straightforward, aside from the annoyance of having to go to the career tab and claim those rewards, as opposed to, just automatically giving them to you. I can't really complain about this system as a whole. Moving on, to unlock heroes, you need to save up large amounts of credits and buy them. To get credits, you play games and are awarded at the end of each match. However, credits are not awarded based on performance, but instead based on how much time is played in the match. The large amount of credits needed, combined with the time-based reward, has led to mass amounts of players AFK farming instead of actually playing the game. You then also use these hard-earned credits to buy one of the different crates, aka loot boxes. The crates contain a random assortment of star cards at varying rarities, as well as cosmetic items and crafting materials. From there, you use the crafting materials to unlock more star cards and upgrade the ones you already own. The problem with this system is that it doesn't matter how much you play your favorite class, heroes, or vehicles. You are not directly rewarded at all for the time you spend on them, or the effort or performance you put in. The items you get from the crates are random and can be for anything, even heroes and vehicles you haven't even unlocked yet. This matters because the rank for each class, hero, and vehicle is tied directly to how many star cards you own for them and what rank those cards are. So to not be at an extreme disadvantage, you need to have these cards. What this means is that more often than not, you're going to be spending your time trying to save up crafting materials so you can quickly buy the cards that matter the most to you. This can take quite some time, especially when you're already trying to save up credits to unlock the heroes to not be at another disadvantage during other game modes. And then finally, there is one more currency, which is the shard crystal things you buy with real life money. Before, this allowed you to bypass the months of farming, gaining a significant advantage right away over other players. As of now, the system is temporarily disabled, but without a doubt will return in some form or another. So as you can see, there are a bunch of different methods to unlocking all the different content, some of which are rather straightforward and others that are extremely convoluted, some that seem relatively fair and others that certainly don't give any real sense of pride and accomplishment. The best solution I could think of is to drastically increase the amount of credits earned for each match while also making it directly proportionate to your performance in the game. This will get rid of AFK farming, make hero unlocks less of a grind, and allow players to buy more crates more easily, making the process of using the stupid loot crate system less painful. Or they could just redesign the whole damn thing. Performance is obviously a really important part of a game. After all, it directly impacts the actual important part of the game, which is being able to play the game. Who would have thought? Battlefront 2 currently suffers from long loading times, frequent disconnects, FPS lag, stuttering, and rubber banding. You get the whole package of unintentional deaths, dying around corners, trading kills, falling off ledges, waiting 5 minutes just to return to the home screen, only to be disconnected from the game, then suddenly your system crashes, the game steals your girlfriend, and lights your house on fire. What makes it worse is this isn't some random thing that comes and goes, and every single match I have played for any game mode has had at least a few of these problems, if not all of them. The original Battlefront games had a class-based system that worked. Previous DICE games like the Battlefield series had a class-based system that worked. So why does the new class system in Battlefront 2 feel so terrible? Well, first let's talk balance. In previous games by DICE, classes were all relatively equal in the eyes of God, and that they had the same health, but just used different weapons and abilities to make them unique. This meant that they filled different roles on the battlefield and were more or less viable for different types of gameplay positioning and situations. In Battlefront 2, this isn't quite how it works. The Heavy class has a 200 baseline health, on top of a shield that absorbs what seems like an infinite amount of damage, while also using some of the most no-skill pray and spray weapons in the game. The Specialist, on the other hand, only has 100 health, half that of the Heavy. It has some terrible time-to-kill rifles that require very good aim to be effective, and then an infiltration ability that is completely counterintuitive to the class's overall role. This makes the Heavy class an extremely easy and rewarding pick on pretty much any map or situation, winning most 1v1 infantry fights as long as you have your shield. Well, it's almost never a good idea to play as the Specialist in pretty much any situation. Now let's talk layout. In the previous Battlefront and Battlefield games from DICE, the objectives and map layouts were a little bit different. You often had multiple objectives, back and forth control of the map, and a map layout that facilitated optimal gameplay for each class. It was just overall a little bit more dynamic. No matter what class you played as, it always felt like you had some way to do well because there was always some places where you could have optimal positioning and a strategy for you to do good. Well, in Battlefront 2, Galactic Assault is almost always a one-way street with big open areas and very little cover that progresses into tight choke points and even less cover. The design just doesn't offer any way for the more fragile classes or unique loadouts to compete. I fail to see how this imbalance between the classes and then the vulnerable map layout that caters to the Heavy class is fair. Clearly, someone needs to find a new job. The first time I played a hero in Battlefront 2015, I still remember the excitement, the anticipation, and the powerful, menacing presence I had on the battlefront. The first time I played a hero in Battlefront 2, I died within seconds after being accidentally stepped on by a giant mechanical chicken. And again, later, I died within seconds while trying to fight against just 2 infantry enemies. Heroes in this game, needless to say, are pretty much glass cannons. You can do a lot of damage when positioned in a very good way, where you can quickly hit and run, but one wrong move, or in the wrong place at the wrong time, is usually instant death. Instead, the strategy to survive involves playing a cowardly game of hide and seek as you spam a few abilities and quickly turn tail to go recover your health. If you take too much damage and get too low, then you can only recover a portion of your health, so it doesn't exactly feel very hero-like. If they were to change the system so that heroes could always recover all of their health instead of permanently losing some by going too low, while also maybe not having them die instantly from silly things, it would let you play a little bit more aggressive and feel a little bit more hero-like. Now, this obviously wouldn't be exactly fair because heroes could maybe just last forever, and that doesn't feel good for anyone, and I'll talk more about this later on. For now, let's talk about heroes versus villains. Heroes versus villains matches are really bad. They are basically almost always a one-sided stomp for the Empire. Half of the Rebels roster is filled with blaster-wielding characters like Han, Chewie, Lando, and Leia. That doesn't go well against Sith lords that can freeze, choke, and pull you into lightsaber range, then proceed to just blindly mash buttons that stun-lock you into eternity and then death. The current strategy to combat lightsabers is to spam roll over and over. And while that may keep you alive for a few seconds, that's not going to get you really far in the grand scheme of things. They absolutely need to remove the lightsaber stuns from the game if they want blaster heroes to stand any kind of chance. Battle points are a new system in Battlefront 2. You gain battle points during the match that you then use to purchase the ability to play as upgraded infantry units, vehicles, or heroes. While I do like the idea of this system because it rewards performance and makes getting heroes or vehicles feel earned rather than just luck-based, there are of course a few problems. First, it greatly diminishes the desire to play as an infantry soldier. I mean, think about it, the classes are already imbalanced and frustrating to play as, unless you're a heavy. then it's kind of like, why even bother? You simply get enough points and then opt out of that experience. This system then further perpetuates the issue because with 3 heroes, 3 upgraded troopers, and multiple vehicles in play on each team, literally half of each team at any given time will be playing as something that by design will almost always kill you if you're playing a regular infantry soldier, making it even less fun or rewarding to focus on infantry combat. And second, if you aren't some amazing player that gets a lot of battle points early on, then all of the fun stuff will probably be taken for a while and very rarely do you get the chance to play what you want. Then when you do finally get a chance, it's probably near the end of the round, so your time is short. Clearly, there has to be some tweaks to the system to balance these things out. Infantry soldiers need to have a greater chance of impact on the game and not just feel like cannon fodder to all the upgraded units. Well, special units like heroes could have a time duration on them similar to how it works in some of the arcade scenarios. If you haven't played them, then this is how it works. You start off with some time, and killing enemies or playing the objective increases this duration. If heroes are buffed in the way that I mentioned before, so they don't have to run away and hide after every little skirmish, then it would create this unique balance. Players can't play as heroes all game, but their time as a hero feels more fun and impactful because they had the health and power to fight multiple enemies without being instantly gunned down. Of course, they still can play too recklessly and die or have to stop and recover, but that uses up some of their time. This, to me, sounds like a very fun and balanced approach. You can actually playtest this by going into the arcade and playing in the scenarios with the time completion on it. It's pretty much exactly the same system. Battlefront 2015 lacked any real customization, but there was a wide variety of character skins to choose from. Battlefront 2 thus far has no character skins, no customizations, and only a few measly options for the heroes, but only after completing some obnoxiously long, time-consuming achievements. The Star Wars universe is massive. There are literally hundreds of skins and trooper customization possibilities. I don't even know what else to say about this. This is just a huge fail thus far and a wasted opportunity. But I'll tell you what, EA, if you put Leia in the slave outfit in the game, I'll even buy your stupid loot boxes to unlock it. I'm sure I could go on for hours talking about all the nitpicky different problems with this game, but I really don't want to discourage you any more than I might have already. After all, I do need you to stay interested enough so you keep watching my videos. However, I gotta say, after going through all this, I'm feeling slightly better getting it off my chest, while at the same time slightly scared because I have no idea how they're gonna fix all these problems before everyone just quits playing. Thank you guys for watching. Please let me know in the comments below some of your tips, tricks, and best advice to be used in my next video, How to Not Suck at Battlefront 2.